Andrew Phillips. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a product review slash how to assemble this extra large vertical shed made by Suncast. Now this is one of those either resin or plastic, I don't know what the material is, kind of like a Rubbermaid type material. But in this video I'm going to be showing you how to put it together, and then we're going to end it off by doing a product review on it, so it's like a combination. But let's go ahead and let's get started. Now I picked this up at Sam's Club. It was on sale. Normally they're $3.99. Got it for $3.24. It was on sale because of being the end of the year, because we're coming up on fall shortly. If you buy this during the spring or summer, you're probably going to pay the full $3.99, or if you get it elsewhere, it could be more. I thought it was a really good deal for what it offers. I didn't want a metal type one because I didn't want it all clanking around and getting dented up. I wanted more like the Rubbermaid kind of material, the plastic or resin, whatever they use. So that's what we have here. But we're going to go ahead and open it up. We're going to take a look at what's included in it, look at the manual, see what tools are required to put it together, and then we'll get down to business. But before we do that, let me just get a shot of the box and go over some of the specs on it, and then we'll open up this box. And there's the brand right there, Suncast Extra Large Vertical Shed. You'll notice up there in that corner, it mentions that it has this tool hook accessory kit right here, so you can hang things inside of it. This is what it looks like assembled. You can see made in the USA, which you can't go wrong with that. I did see some other sheds similar to this, around the same price, a little cheaper, coming from China and places, but the reviews, they were very chintzy and garbage. So I decided to go with this. This is very heavy, well made, and we're gonna, when we do the review, we'll go over all of that. But as we scroll down here, you can see it has a 10-year limited warranty on it. And taking a look here, here's some of your dimensions. So you've got 6.5 feet tall, 5 foot 10.5 inches wide, 3 feet 8 1/4 in depth. So that's a pretty decent sized shed. Tall profile, ideal for storing ladders, patio umbrellas, gardening supplies, things like that. Tool hook accessory kit included to maximize your storage space. And then here we can see that it's an all-weather construction because of being this plastic material. It's low maintenance, easy to clean, padlockable, easy to assemble with minimal tools required. We come here, you can see the overall dimensions of it for the interior and overall. So it's a pretty decent size shed, 106 cubic feet, which is good. And then one thing I do want to call out right here, it says team lift right here. This is a very heavy box, so you definitely want to have 2 people with you when you get it. This thing is pretty big, and it's very heavy, so definitely not something I'd recommend doing yourself. Now, I already opened the box. It was hard to open because the way they have it glued, so I just used one of these blades here, just cut it along the edge so we can lift it up. So let's fold it back. And we can see right here, this is the roof to it. Move this out of the way so we can see the rest of it, but this is pretty well made. I'm going to close up with that, but you can see some of the accessories and tools it comes with, the manual. Let me get the camera, get up close so we can take a look at all that and then see the tools that are required. There's the hanging tool kit there. Come along here. There's some of the accessories here, the handles, hardware. Here's the manual. Another sheet there that was folded up in there. But on the outside here, it tells you the tools that are required. So they have some kind of a power drill, or you could probably just use a screwdriver as well. Safety glasses, gloves, screwdriver, rubber mallet, level, and then it does come here with this easy driver that is included. But these are the only tools that you're going to need besides what's included in here. There's another picture of it assembled. It's a pretty decent sized manual. And if we come here, I just want to show you. This is the roof that we moved when we opened it. You can see it. This thing is pretty thick. It is molded, but it is solid, it has some good weight to it. It's not chintzy or flimsy like some of the other ones I saw online and what people were saying about it. So I'm going to pull out the tools that are required, and then we'll start going through the manual, separating the pieces and putting it together. Everything has been unpacked so we can see all the parts that are needed. We have the rail system here with these metal tracks here. We'll take a look at that. And then coming in here, this is the hardware and the handles, things like that. We're going to get this box out of here so we have the room to put it together. Then we'll flip up the manual, go through it, and put this thing together, explain everything to you, and hopefully it'll be informative for you. And then we'll take it outside and put it to use. let's open this thing up. Here's our handles. Pieces of hardware here. A lot of screws. And these are just some corner brackets and other attachment things needed for the hardware. So this is everything that was in this bag. And this is one of the negative complaints I heard about some of those Chinese-made plastic or resin sheds, is a lot of people saying it didn't come with hardware, they had to figure it out on themselves. This one here has everything with it, which is a big plus. That way we can get down to business. Now these are the items that I'm going to be using. Obviously we're following the tools that they require. I do not have a power tool like they show because not everyone watching this video may have one, so I want to keep it simple. We have just a regular Phillips screwdriver, and then I have one of these screwdriver ratchets with the different attachments for the different sizes of Phillips heads. In the screws that come with it right here, you have some larger screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver patterns and some smaller. So I have some sizes here, but if you don't have that, if you just have like maybe a medium and a large head, I think you'll be fine. Had my rubber mallet, the level, and the gloves. Safety glasses as well. I wear glasses anyway sometimes, so I'm just using my glasses, but this is what we're going to be using. Let's start by looking here at the assembly instructions. Go through here. First page is just talking about parts and accessories, care, maintenance, things like that. They do mention right here, do not attempt to assemble this on a day with strong winds if you're assembling it outside. So definitely keep that in mind. So here's our first piece right here. We're going to start off by doing the walls and the floor. So we're going to get our floor in place, and then we can start putting the walls in place. And then the next thing is you'll have your roof, the tracks, and the door that goes next. Those are the parts. Then you have here the different hardware. You have your door hinges. You have your hardware bag with all of these things, your roof retainer, the easy bolts. You have your roof bracket, the driver, which it came with. You have your door and latch assembly here, the door latch. Then your screws, your handles, and those are all the parts. And then they mention here as far as for if you're doing a platform for it, what you should do and how you should build the platform. In my case here, we have level ground, so we're putting it directly on the ground. But if you do want to have either a concrete slab or if you want to put a base for it, here's your information right here. And then now, right here, we get into it here. So we have the instructions here. I'm not going to be showing this. I'm going to be showing you me building it, and we'll reference this occasionally.
I have my foundation laid here on the ground, and the reason I didn't put a base under it is this ground is very hard and is very level. You can see here when they installed my pool, they were able to drop that as well right on the ground, so we don't need to do that. If you do have a property that's on an angle and where you're installing it is not level, you want to make sure that you either put the concrete base, like they mentioned, or the wood base. You want it on level ground. You don't want to run the risk of it leaning over. If it gets any damage because of that, it will hinder any coverage of the warranty if it's not installed properly. But now that we have it here in place, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be installing the walls. And I'm going to get a close-up when we start how it locks in, but we're going to start with the left wall, put the side wall in, then we'll do the left back wall, then we'll do the right wall, and then the right back wall. And then once that's together, then we'll take the attachment tools and get everything secured, and then move on to the front and then the top as well. But let me get a close-up, and I'll show you what we're going to do, and we'll get started. You'll notice here, this is the side wall. You have these little clips right here where they come down. They have a little bit of a slot going back, and in here, you have slots also. So these are going to drop in, and then we're going to slide it back. So that way it slides into these grooves. And I'll get a close-up of these grooves, and then we'll drop it in place. If need be, we can take our rubber mallet and tap it along if it doesn't want to go in by hand. But let me show you right here, and then we'll slide it in.
Now, if we look here, you can see these little clips or tabs here on the sides. That's where the back walls will interlock with the side walls, almost like a puzzle. They'll slide into the grooves. And then if we come down here onto the base, you can see these slotted sections right here. You have 3 of them on each side. The side walls are going to drop in there, And then as you push them back, it'll tighten as that groove gets tighter. You just use a rubber mallet to bang it back.
We'll start by taking this sidewall. Put it in an upright position, and then we're going to drop it right in here. Locked, and then we'll slide it back. And as mentioned, you can take the rubber mallet, locked on. Now we can put our wall there in the back. We'll connect that to it. Now you'll notice that the inside of the back panels are labeled. That one says back left. And if we come here on this one, that one says right back panel. So we have this one here in place, and I'll show you what we're going to be doing here. You can see that also has a notch, so that's going to slide in and then drop. Same here, it's going to slide in and then drop. You can see that end. And then also on the bottom there, there's indentations there where that's going to drop in and clip, and I'll show you here on this one since this one's not in place yet. You can see right there, you have one there, and then also on that side. So those drop in place. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to take this, drop it in place, clip it in there, and then drop it. And then that'll lock it in. So the first thing we'll do, we're going to bring it in like this. Lining it up in here. We're going to get them in and then drop it down. I'm going to bring the camera in here up close so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. That's locked in place. This is now solid, that corner. Down here, I'll show you along the ground, that's also locked in as well. All along there is all sealed, right there too. Now that this is done, I'm going to work over here. We're going to start with this side wall and then do that back. And I'm not going to show all that. It's pretty much the same process, but then we'll be back to then attach everything here with the hardware.
This is what we just did. The left side, the left back, and then now we're doing this part here. Right side, right here, and then the right back. And then when we come back, then we'll be ready to do the attachments as shown right there.
Everything has been secured in. The walls are all locked in. You can see it's nice and sturdy. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the easy driver and 3 easy bolts. There's 4 slots, but we're leaving the top one open for later. So starting here at the bottom, we're going to screw these in. I'm just going to hand turn them in for now and put them in place. And then we're going to use the easy driver, this tool, and I'll get a close-up of it. But we're going to manually tighten them. You don't want to over-torque them, so we're just going to tighten them until they're flush, and then that's it. This is the tool, and this is the one that it comes with. So we're just going to hand tighten them in. Starting here on the bottom one, just going to screw it in. And that's it. It's nice and flush. Do this one. There we go, nice and flush. And the last one. And it's slotted, so you can hear it clicking. There we we go. Nice and tight. You can see how solid that is. This is nice and tight. Once that one's secured, it'll be locked, but this is nice and solid. It's also locked down into the ground. The sides are also clipped in as well. So this is pretty sturdy. It's mounted onto the base really good. Let's move on to the next step.
This is the step that we just finished. So step 10, we put the three easy bolts in. So now we're going to move to right here. This is the assembly of the roof. So we're going to take the roof, and that's where we're going to be mounting the metal truss legs, and then we'll tighten all that in. Now in the package with the truss legs, you also have this rail. We're going to move that off to the side right now. We're not putting that on now. We're going to take the two truss legs. They line up right in this little groove, and I'll get a close-up, but there's holes in there for this to line up with. So we're going to line this up properly. But I'll get a close-up so you can see what we're doing here. Now it's important to have these rails in the proper orientation. So if we're looking here at the roof, it's upside down. This is the front, that's the back. So as you're looking at the roof here laid out, come over here, you want the truss leg that has just the holes on it. As you can see right there, this one here, that's what you want on this side here. The right side is it's upside down, and I'll show you. If we come here to the left side, this one's more slotted. You can see that one and that one. That's how you want these set up. So I'm going to take our screws, and I'll show you which ones we're going to be using. Looking here, you want these. Not the big ones, just the regular ones here, the pointed screws. That's what we're going to be using, just a handheld screwdriver. As mentioned already, you can use a power tool, but for the sake of this video, I'm just using hand tools since not everyone has power tools. But let's start screwing this in. Both of these truss legs are on, so next we're going to take the S-rail. We're going to lower it here along the edge of the front of the roof. Now, the way that you want it, if you can see it here, you have these slotted holes because we're going to use 10 of those HH screws like we used here for the truss legs to connect these. You have 10 slots. So this is the way that it's going in. You have this kind of hook, and then it comes down and has this little piece. And that slides right in here to line it up so you can screw those in. Let me get a close-up so you can see what I'm talking about, and then we'll start screwing it in. You can see the holes along the front there. That's how it drops in. This is how it looks from a side shot. And then it has that little lip that comes around, and then we'll take the HH screws and screw through each one of those holes. So let's get this all screwed together. And you have this angle here where you can get a screwdriver in to get to any of these. So we'll just take our HH screw, go right in here. Just screw that right in. And it has a plastic lip that this will grab onto. There we go. And as you look along here, you can see all of the screws are in place all along the edge. And then if we come back up here just to show you what the roof looks like, we have the two legs in place. Then we have the S-rail in place. And everything is screwed down using the HH screws, which are the smaller pointed ones. Now this is what we just completed, steps 11 and 12. So we have here the truss legs, then we have the S-rail, all that's been attached. Now we're moving on to 13. Now on 13, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing 7 of these roof retainers right here. These are the gray corner pieces here. We're going to be using the easy driver to install these easy bolts as shown right here. So let's head over to the roof so we can start applying these. And if we look, you can see the threaded piece right here. So that's one here on this side. You have another one right here. And then here's one here going along the back. You have, let's see, another one right there along the back. One on that corner. Then you have one on that side. One on that side. And then as we come along the front, I believe that's it. So because we have 7. So you have 2 here, 2 there, it's 4, and then 3 along the back. Those are our 7. Let's get those in place and we'll put them in. Line it up with the hole. We'll take the easy bolt like we did outside, put it in manually, and then we can take the driver, screw that down. There we go. Move on to this one. Same thing. And you don't want to over torque these because you don't want to be breaking things. These are plastic. All right, these are in place. I'm going to go and do the rest of them and then we'll be back. Everything has been attached. You can see all 7 of those are in place. Now, what we're going to do, we're coming over here and we're now in step 14. So we're going to be attaching 2 roof brackets, which are these guys, and we're going to attach them using HH screws. So we're going to use 2 each to mount them. And if we come here to the front, so we start off right here. Here's the S rail. If we work our way down, there's one spot. So this would be mounted in like this. And then there's the other spot. So I'm going to attach those in using the 2 HH screws, which are these little guys right here. Which are these, the pointed ones, and then we'll be back. Now that the roof assembly has been all put together, we have the rails, the corner pieces, the brackets, all that. Let's take it outside so we can fit it over what we've already assembled and we can secure everything. And then all that's left is putting the doors on. I'll meet you outside.
Okay, so we have the roof and we're going to bring it back here. You want to line it up so that these, and I'll get a close up, but you want the clips to line up. And right about there is how you want it. Coming inside, you can see it. There's the slot right there. That's where that one goes in. You can see everything's lined up, so the legs dropped right in place. Here's one here. We're going to come back with the easy bolts, put them in these spots here to secure everything. And one there, and that's it. Let's go get the bolts so we can get all this tightened up. Put this one in by hand. Get it started. And then now we can take our driver and tighten it up. Once again, do not over tighten or torque it. That one's good. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put the rest of them in here and then we'll be back. Okay, just double checking everything. The whole roof is put on. This thing is stable. You've got the supports across the top. Everything is tight now. Let's get ready to get the doors put together so we can put those on. But it's looking good. Easy assembly.
Now that we've just completed step 15, which was putting the roof on, next we're moving on to the door assemblies. So that being said, if we look over here, I have both doors up there. So we have our doors upright, which makes it easier. If we come back over here, these are the steps that we're going to be following. These are all the hardwares and pieces for the doors. We have 6 of these right here, which are our hinge mounts. We have our handles, and then we have the little locking latches that go on the top and bottom of the doors. Let's head over to the doors and start putting them together. Now the first thing we're going to do, you have these 2 openings here. One here, one here. These are for the door latch housings. I'm going to get a close-up. We'll bring the camera in and I'm going to show you how to get these in place. And that way we can get them locked in and then we'll move on to the hinges. On the housing, you have these 2 little wings sticking up. That is going to go this way. So you're going to push it up, lock it in. Now on the bottom, and I'll show you, when we get down to the bottom, how we did it this way, you're going to do it upside down. So it's going to go that way. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the actual latch piece, slide it in till it clips, and then that's how you want it. So that way it can lock the door, and then you can bring it down and then lock it. Let's head down to the bottom. We'll do that one next. As we just showed, we'll take those 2 little wings, tilt them downward so they lock in. And let's see, give it a good push to clip it. There we go. And then we're going to take this, slide it up. It's pretty much the exact opposite of what we just did. I need to move this door there a little bit. Slide it up, clip it in. There you go. Done. Next, we're going to attach the hinges. So we're going to slide it like this. And I'll get a close-up, but we're going to slide it up so that way it can turn this way. And they're very easy to do. You just slide them right on. Turn them like that. On this one, you're going to want it to go up like this. So it can open like that. But that's how you want them. Well, let me get a close-up. Slide it up like that, and then it turns that way. Let's go to the other door and I'll show you how it would look on that one. See how it has the opening? You're going to slide it right like that, so it opens like this. Now that these are on, let's take these outside and we'll attach them to the shed itself.
Both doors are out here. I need to hurry up. Sun is going down. I probably started this project a little too late for this video, so I want to hurry up before it gets too dark. But we're going to mount this here on the inside. I'm going to bring the camera around here so we can see it. And I'll show you where we're going to be attaching it.
Now, the way that these clips right here work for the hinge, you're going to bring it in to that indentation, and it kind of hooks around. So once we get it right there placed in here, the next thing we're going to do is pull it completely around like that, snap it into place. You get a nice snug fit right there around that part of the wall. Next, we're going to bring our long bolt. These are the GG size. We're going to then thread it through all the way. We'll hand thread it first, and then we'll come along with the screwdriver.
You want this pretty tight because this is pinching it onto that hinge. There we go. Everything has been put in, so you can see the hinge here, one down there, and all the way down there. And then here on the other door, if we come up closer here, you can see it. There's the screw holding it on. And same thing here. You can see all of that. This thing is nice and sturdy. And then you have the door here. And lock it. And that way, no one can get in. But since we're not done, I'll open this back up. We need to put the handles on here and then wrap it up, and then I'll show you the shelving on the inside.
That's what we just finished. So now we're on to step 20, which is putting the handles on. We have, as you can see here, you're going to attach the handle to the left door using the two washers, MM, and the screws, LL. Those are these guys right here. So we have the washers, we have the screws. That's what we're going to use to attach these. So let's head back outside and put these onto the doors.
On the inside of the doors, you have these little grooves right here. That's where we're going to be putting the screw and the washer. And then on this side is where the handle is going to be. And that's going to be on both sides. So let's attach it. Feed the screw through the washer. Go right through here. And we want it to go straight through. That way it'll meet it on the other side, and then we can connect right in here to these holes. There they are coming through. So that's where the handle will connect, and then we'll come here on this side, and then we'll tighten everything up. This is how we're going to attach it. So since this is the right door, you want the bolt lock piece on the left, on the other one will be on the right. That way if you want to put a padlock, you can lock it through that way. But let's tighten it all on. That's tightened up. Come here. That's all tightened. So I'm going to do the other one, and then we'll be back to look at everything. Good morning. Had to call it quits last night. It was getting too dark. And as you saw in the last footage, it was kind of hard to see. So we're back here next morning. Just want to show you what I did yesterday. So we put the handles in. We had the close-up how we do that. You can put a padlock through here if you want. I'll get a close-up of that. Nice and secure. Unlock it. Doors open up. Now, I should have cut my grass before I did the video because we're getting the grass is a little bit long around the door, but everything is tight in here. I'm going to get some close-ups, and then we'll head back in the garage. We'll get the tool assembly kits, and we'll come out here and install those, and then we'll wrap up this overview assembly video. Everything tight as we saw earlier and secure. And these holes right here, that's where we're going to be attaching the tool assembly kits right there. Here's a better shot. You can see how the door hinges went on. And there's the bottom one. And then if we come here on this side, that's how it clips into that little groove and then folds over, locks, and then you put the screw through right there. And that's where your padlock would leap right through.
Here's what we just completed, steps 19, 20, and then this is the final item that we just talked about. Now, they do have a section here. If you want to add additional shelving, they do give you the dimensions here where you can cut out of wood. And then you do have these little notched out areas along the back on the sidewalls where you can put shelving if you want additional storage space. We're not going to do that here, but if you wanted to, they do supply that. Next, we're going to take our tool hangers out. And then we do have the easy bolts. You have the easy bolts that go through one here, one there, and one there. So we're going to take our easy driver, our easy bolts, the accessory kits here, and we're going to head back out to the shed and we'll put those in.
We have our first one here. We're going to line it up here with the holes. And the cool thing is this is angled a little bit back, so as you slide things on, they can slide down instead of falling off. So we're going to take these, put it on as we did on the other ones. We'll hand tighten it first. like that. Now we'll take the tool here, and this one also is grooved so it does clip. Okay, that one's good. We'll tighten this one. That one's also good. They also have side mounts if you want to put it on the side as well, which I may do that because I want to keep the back clear. So let me bring the camera around so you can see how you can mount it on the sides as well. You have these threaded holes here on the left side wall. And then also here on the right side wall, you have them as well. You see right there. So you can put them anywhere, or you have the back wall where we put the other one. And also, as we saw in the manual, this is where if you wanted to put additional shelving, you would lay it here, here, or down here at the bottom going across if you wanted to do that. But I'm going to mount my accessory, the tool holders, and then we'll be back to see it all finished. I put some things in here so you can get an idea. So we have our hanging tools here on the back, have some of my pool chemicals. I'm actually surprised. I didn't think that the lawnmower was going to fit, but you can see it fits, I mean, right wall to wall, it fits. If not, you may have to fold it over, but I didn't think it was going to do that. But, and there we have our tools hanging. We have more space here if need be. And that weed whacker is actually pretty long, and you can see there we still have a lot of clearance there up top. And then there's the grooves for the shelves. Still have space here as well. We're just going to check the level on it. You can see right there we are right on point. Let's check here on the other side. This one, slightly off. It needs to be elevated just a little bit like that, which is going to happen when we clear the grass out and landscape underneath and put rocks. We'll level that. But right now it's pretty close, so looking good. Have some other things I want to put in here. Might wind up putting a shelf eventually so I can put pool supplies up there, but we'll cross that bridge later. Just wanted to get this up in place before the fall so I can bring the pool ladder, and we have some chairs that fold up that are going to go in here as well. But wanted to wrap up this video, this assembly and overview of this Suncast resin outdoor shed. As mentioned already, this is bigger than some of the other ones that are out there. It is better made in my opinion. So I hope that the assembly was good for you as far as showing how we put this thing together, the different steps. But I did want to do now the product review. This thing is pretty solid. Pretty solid. I'm actually very impressed with the thickness of the material, how it's made. I mean, it is plastic, so it's not going to be, you know, like metal. But I would say overall on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an 8.5. The reason being is the size is a little bit tight, as we see here, so it's for smaller things. However, outside of the size issue, I would have given it a 10 because I think it's well made. I think it's very easy to assemble. Outside of needing 2 people to carry the main box in, once you have it apart, it can easily be done by one person that we saw in the video. I did it all by myself. Not a hard task. I think the instructions are very clear. Goes together very quick, very simple. You can put it together in a short period of time. As mentioned already, you want to make sure that you do have level ground you're putting it on. Right here, we have all this grass around here, but in the spring of next year, we're going to be clearing all this out around the filter in here, landscape it out, and have rocks, and at that point, we'll clean up around it. Right now, it's just on grass, but that's why we did it that way. But you want to make sure that you're putting it on level ground. So as mentioned already, overall, I'm going to give it an 8.5, and it's only because of the size issue. Everything else, this thing is sturdy, it's well made, it's not flimsy falling around. We have a lot of wind where I live because we're coastal here. I'm not concerned with it at all. If we do this, I mean, this thing is solid, very solid. I'm not worried about that. And as mentioned already, I think the panels are well made. They're reinforced nice, easy to put together. So I hope that this video was informative for you, showing you how to put this thing together, how easy it is, and then giving you an overview. Please send me any questions, comments. I would love to hear from you. And as always, I appreciate all the support. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.